So here we are in Roquefort, or Roquefort, the centre of smelly cheese. And there's some pretty nice cars in the car park of this cheesemaker. So I'm making that an XK120. And that is a Ferrari Dino. And another XK120. Beautiful cars. Beautiful. Beautiful. What is that then? Oh, Fakel Vega, blimey. Lovely car. Lovely car. And there's a XK120. I've always wanted one of these. Beautiful, beautiful. Set you back. Best part of $250,000, I should think. Maybe less. So if you want one of them, that'll cost you a couple of $100,000. Nearly forgot to show you the view. Not bad, eh? But the idea I had about a year ago was a little bit less treasure hunting, a little bit more things that you might never get around to doing. So this is one of them. We're going to visit a cheese cave in Roquefort and see what they get up to here with their green cheese. Sheep cheese, no less. None of your cow stuff. Sheep cheese. Sheep. Milk of sheep.
Playing the chess.
Cheese chess. Cheese as far as the eye can see. Is there any cheese down there? No. Let's go see some more cheese. This is going to be nicer. So the last place we were at was a big industrial producer, and this is more boutique. And I'm a bit of a cheese maker, and it's all about the mould, and it's all about keeping flies off. Now you keep flies off down here, and it's very wet and damp, so it won't dry out and you won't get hard cheese. And you have to keep, after a certain amount of time, rotating your bacteria, because phages get in, which are little viruses that eat your bacteria. So you have to rotate it through. So anyway, this is much more like the real thing, not an industrial level Roquefort maker. I'm going to buy some of their Roquefort, I can tell you. So this is the guys, Roquefort, Gabriel Coulet, and I say, come on down here. Now, they wrap the Roquefort in silver paper, because once you get out of this place, it's going to dry out. And once it dries out, well, it's not going to be a soft, wet green cheese anymore. So that's their solution. It will also keep the flies off it, which is really one of the big deals about cheese, going back all the way back in history, is how do I keep the blooming flies off it? So you can wrap it in straw, you wrap it in paper and put it in a box, all sorts of things. Wrap it in ash, wrap it in tin foil, and that's the way you keep the bugs off it. because once the bugs get in, you're going to have a cheese with maggots. And they used to eat them with a spoon because it was a delicacy. Yes, no. And in Corsica, there's a cheese called Casamazu, which they infect on purpose with fly eggs so that they get maggots, and then they eat the maggots. And it's a totally illegal cheese, but they still make it because the EU has put it to one side that even though it's totally unhygienic and it's a national treasure. So it's protected on that basis. So you can get your maggoty cheese, if you want to, in Corsica. And you really wanted to know that, didn't you? And these guys don't mind me filming, so I'll give them a plug. Gabriel Coulet Roquefort. And I've just got to say, they don't sponsor me, but they might. So you can see the mould. And the mould grows in these so-called fluorines, which are basically, tubes within the mountain from whatever geological action is going on. And as I recall, it sucks the air down from above and blows it out the bottom of the hill, and that aspiration and that constant cold temperature is what enables the cheese to mature, apparently in about a month. So we're leaving the cheese and we're going up to the shop. Well, they've got a choice of 25-month-old, 15-month-old and 5-month-old Roquefort. So let's try. I'm going to go straight for the 25. That is amazing. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy a lot of that. So we'll go at 15. Well, after 25, it's nothing. And this is a 5-month-old. Supermarket Roquefort, which is delicious. But that 25, I'm going to have more. This is 25, you see how soft it is. Oh, that's exquisite. Where's my bottle of port? That's just exquisite. I need to try another. And another and another. Oh, that's fabulous. I'm going to buy a lot. So we're going to the shop now. I'm going to buy some of that 25-month-old Roquefort cheese. Not years, 25 months, but still 2 years, right? And this is the shop. 2, please. Now we've seen where they matured the cheese. Down there is where they make it. Not quite so quaint, but the view is majestic. The first tour with the big cheese company, an hour of being talked at and 10 minutes of looking at cheese. I wouldn't look at cheese for an hour and get talked at. Not at all. I don't want to see any videos. I want to show you videos. I mean, I don't want television, I want cheese. Anyway, that 25 months Roquefort was mind-blowing, a real revelation. And there's a lorry coming to pick it up, coming up the hill, typically. But anyway, if you ever get a chance, 25 months old Roquefort, get it. That big factory was making basically 250,000 Roquefort roundels every year. And when you think about it, the whole process is limited. You need sheep's milk, not cow's milk, and there's only so much sheep milk you're ever going to get. All the sheeps in the whole area are used to make that milk. So it's limited to how much Roquefort they can actually make, and that's the limitation of how many sheep they can have in this area. So that's quite interesting when you think about it. It's rush hour in Sheepville, but it's a magnificent location. It's a very, very beautiful countryside. And it's worth visiting just for the beautiful scenery. I know a lot of my viewers are American and they have amazing scenery anyway, but you know, it is actually very, very beautiful and old worldy, you know. You can sense that a lot of companies went out of business during COVID here. Lots of empty shops. Pretty much everywhere really you go in France or in the UK. But no tourists. Boom, you're gone, aren't you? But this is not such a huge tourist area because it's only very recently they've had big roads in here. Before that, They didn't have big road systems. Well, I mean, there's no shortage of noisy lorries, I tell you. You don't see any vehicles when you get out in the country, though. Oh, might as well be in Piccadilly Circus. Anyway, I've had my cheese epiphany. 25 months old Roquefort. So I'm going to find myself a supplier of that because it's just off the dial. If you like Roquefort that you get in a supermarket, you know, it's just a completely different experience. It's the same, but 10 times better. So 25 months old Roquefort is the business. So if you're a gourmet like me, you know what you've got to get now. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and like. I'll be taking you on more of these tours. I hope next time I go on a tour it's not so awful and boring that I go for an hour and a half and only can show you 3 minutes of cheese. But you never know till you know. But there will be more of these sort of things coming up, and some treasure hunting too. So I admit it, I bought £5 in weight of that 25 months old Roquefort. So I'm going to put on about £5 of weight in the next few weeks.